Hello everybody, and welcome to Jonas's Rambling Video Part 7. 7. 7? 52? 20, 25, 52? I had another video on this piece of paper. This was yesterday's video that I didn't end up getting up because I was streaming for 6 hours, and it was Dark Souls, and it was annoying. You should watch it. It's over on Lost. Anyway, so I'm going to do this video probably either tomorrow or right after this video, and then put it up a couple hours later. I don't know. This one is about options. I think an opinion. Is it options or opinions? I can't read my own handwriting. Today's rambling video. Credibility. That's what it's on. Credibility. Okay, so we have one on credibility. This one is about motivation, self-motivation, kind of like that whole idea and stuff like that. So, anyway, where am I going to start with this? So, I've talked about the jump, right, the spark kind of thing. This is not that, though. This is different. So basically, when you're like trying to push yourself, you want something to change, right? That's why you have motivation. You are, if you're content with what you have. Let's say I'm content with having this stuff right here in the middle of my shot when it's not supposed to be there, or this stuff over here in the middle of my shot, right? I could have gotten up and moved that before I even started. This blanket right here, or my bag of gum, I could have moved that to make it look better for the camera, but I didn't do that because I was content with the way it was. So to actually have change, you have to be, you have to want change to be motivated, I guess, to do something. You can't just sit there and be content the whole time with what you have, because then you'll never change. There are so many things that you wouldn't believe, and you probably do this without even thinking about it, right? You're like, or it's just like a secondhand thought, I guess, if you could say secondhand thought. Is that even a thing? It like pops into your head for like half a second, and then you're like, it's gone, whatever. These are things like, example, I play RuneScape, and I could relearn the bosses that I fight in the game so that I'm more efficient. Because I have all the things I need, I just need to relearn it, reteach myself. But because it takes more effort to reteach myself than to just do it the way I'm doing, even though it would be more profitable in the future to learn it the other way, I still remain content with the way that I'm doing it. Because it just takes more time and it takes more effort to do something like that. This comes out a lot in people's work habits. A lot. They just call it good enough and don't strive for greatness. And that happens a lot with things that people don't want to do. But then there are things that you have to do. Like, if you're smoking, you quit smoking. Or you go on a diet if you're fat. People always say, I failed at my diet again, Well, yes, that can be a problem. But I don't necessarily see why. Like, you might just be going about it the wrong way. See, if the issue is mental, right? Because you're like, I'm just gonna not smoke cigarettes, and then you're quote-unquote too weak to be able to keep yourself from that crave and that addiction. Well, I've been thinking about some things, and regardless of whether or not you are trying to make a change, like I strive to run a marathon or whatever, and you like, that's a goal you've set for yourself. That's something you're going to gain. You're going to gain the ability to run a marathon, or or something that you're losing, like smoking. You're going to lose smoking cigarettes and gain health, I guess. So you could think about it losing cigarettes, or you could think about it as gaining health. Regardless, they take about the same amount of willpower, or this, in my opinion. Or you could even say that losing something is harder, from my personal experience. I don't know what you guys think. Does it take more willpower to gain something, push yourself to gain something, or push yourself to lose something or change something? Anyway, I believe that it comes down to your mindset toward the thing, because there's no moment where you're going to sit there and tell yourself, I'm going to do it tomorrow, and then you actually do it tomorrow. Like, how many times do you tell yourself that, oh, I'm going to do this in the future, I'm going to get this done, and then it never happens, right? There's got to be some sort of, like, push or spark or jump, right? You think that, but in reality, there's not, right? You like, oh, I'm gonna do that when the weather's good, or better, and then the time runs around and you're like, I'll just put it off until like the weather's not so good because I'm outside playing right now, or whatever, I'm outside skiing right now, whatever, it doesn't really matter. You always put it off again and again and again over the same things. Well, don't wait for that. People always wait for like a sign or something special to come and like tell them, oh, now is the right moment. Well, you're not ever going to get that, like 95% of the time. You just have to start doing it, and then that push of like you doing it, you feel good. Like if it's something like me uploading videos, okay, if I don't upload a video, I feel depressed and I feel sad, and I'm like, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow, I'll do it eventually. But if you just do it and you get it up, and like I got this video up, right, I feel good about myself, I feel happy with myself because that I've done that, and then that's kind of perpetual, and it just keeps going and going and going and going and going. Well, that's the way you got to think about it. You can't just say, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, because it's not, the world doesn't work like waiting for a sign. The world doesn't wait for a sign, I guess. You have a limited amount of time. You should be focused on the things that you want to do, and you should actually get them done. And people always say, oh, I don't have the energy, or I don't have the time, or whatever. Well, if you really cared, you'd make the time. And if you really cared, you'd put in the energy regardless of whether or not you had it or you felt it. Because if you are content with the way you are, you won't change. You have to really, really want that change, and you have to just straight up do it. You can't let your lazy mind get to you and say like, oh, I'll do it later. So that being said, this isn't like I'm gonna change my life immediately. It happens gradually. You can't, you just pick up a piece of floss, and you're like, I'm gonna floss today, and then tomorrow I'm gonna floss again. It works like that. It doesn't work like, oh, I'm gonna floss for the rest of my life, and then floss once, and then say, oh, well, okay, long-term goal, I'm gonna floss forever. No, it doesn't work that way. It's an everyday struggle. You have to constantly work at it, keep going and going and going. It's always a push. Strive for something better, strive for something more. You've completed your goal, you have to get another goal. That's why people have goals, is because they want to accomplish them, right? And it's hard to juggle all these different things that you have on in your life, and I was like, oh, make time. Well, how? Well, that's when it comes in that you have to give up something to gain something. Like smoking. If you give up smoking, you have more time to do other things. Well, you have to fill up that other time that you would spend smoking, or else you're just going to start smoking again. You have to come up with something that you can do that's more beneficial than what you were doing. So instead of sitting on the couch, you could be, creating a video game, or you could be designing something that you wanted to design, or just research something that you want to do. You could spend the time where you would be doing something unproductive and replace it with something special, something productive that you care about and that you want to do. And it's a struggle because you have to do it every single time. You catch yourself doing something that you don't want to do, or you catch yourself wasting time, and you say, well, I need to do this now or else it will never get done. That's the hardest part, is just getting up off your ass and doing it. And you have to do it like literally right then. If I don't write down an idea for this video or these videos, oh shoot, instantly, like as soon as I have the idea, I forget it. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 ideas that I'm supposed to have, and I've forgotten all of them. I thought this one was options, but it's actually credibility. This video is on there. What matters to people, opinions, and what else is there? There's like one other sentence. Oh, a look at relationships. Okay, so there we have all those different like video ideas that I had to write down like immediately, or else I forget them. It's like having a dream, having a vivid dream and saying like, oh, I'll write it down later. You fall back asleep, you wake up and you don't remember it. World is always moving, and you have to be too. And you'll definitely enjoy yourself once you're doing it, once you're in motion and you started, making that difference in your life. And I don't know whether or not this video made too much sense. It might have just been kind of, again, it's a rambling video, so it's not really meant to be something like super special and have it all scripted out and everything, but that's just the things that I was thinking about in my head. Also, you have to do it yourself, right? People help. You have somebody motivating you, like, yeah, good job, you did it, yeah, right? But overall, it's all up to you on whether or not you're going to do it, right? And I've heard many different tricks of like telling all your friends that you're going to do this or you're going to make this change. I haven't seen that really help at all. Like, oh, I'm going to quit smoking, right? And then your friends are always getting up on you and annoying you, and you're like, well, I haven't started, I keep smoking, but... And then they all disappointed in you, and then you're disappointed in you, and then you just go back to doing the same thing over and over and over again. You have to change from within yourself first. You have to just if you're not able to do it on your own, then you have to change something else. And that's just like within your own mind. It's a habit building thing, I guess. I don't know. Like, I don't want to put people down that like, let's say, oh, I can't do this or I can't do that. It's like, you can do it, and you know that you can do it, but you just haven't done it yet. And a lot of the time, it's just same thing over and over and over again. It's scary sometimes, the amount of power that your mind has and the things that you are able to do or convince yourself of. Like, convince yourself, oh, I could never be that, or I could never do that, when in reality you can. It's just your mind preventing you from doing it because you think it's impractical, or you think that you aren't worth the light of day to do that, you know? Like, I don't know if this helped anybody or if this is just me ranting. I guess it doesn't really matter whether or not it helped people. It's a ramble video. Whatever. Things I also wanted to talk about was I went to the doctor. Life update. Hello. Went to the doctor. I do have IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. So that's a struggle with me now. Working past that, though it sucks. It's not like it magically hit me like poof, wow, I have IBS. No, I've known that for a while now, and it's really annoying, but I've been working through it. So life struggle, but that's okay. I'm really excited for the future, as I say always. And I will see you guys in the next video, which is going to be about credibility. See you guys.